When we divorced, my ex-husband wanted to fight me for the custody of our son. He said firmly that we should ask for his own opinion. My son held his mobile phone and looked at me calmly. He really wanted to divorce. Yes, I nodded. Okay, he lowered his head and continued to play games. My mother and I will give him more property, otherwise I am afraid that he can't support his son. He was dragged into the study by his father. I wanted to follow him worriedly, but the door slammed in front of me. Zhou Yu's irritable voice came from inside. Zhou Ruize, I ask you again, do you really want to follow your mother? Don't blame me for not reminding you, Mom is just a housewife. Do you really think he can take good care of you? My son's careless voice sounded, Dad, it doesn't matter who I follow. The main thing is that I, Lin Yi, am pregnant with my younger brother now. I will follow you, but I am afraid that it will affect his mood. Even Zhou Yu, who is so thick-skinned, probably felt a little embarrassed when his son mentioned his ugly deeds. The voices inside became quieter. I couldn't hear what they said later. I just felt a wet itch on my face. I reached out to wipe my tears, but the more I wiped, the more tears I cried. I sat woodenly on the sofa in the living room. I finally couldn't help but bury my face in my palms. I don't know how long it took before the door of the study was reopened. Zhou Yu walked in front of me and looked at me crying. He couldn't bear it and handed me a piece of tissue. Slowly said, Ruize, I'll follow you. I raised my tearful face. I'll leave the car and house to you and give you another 500,000. If you agree, we'll go to handle the procedures tomorrow. I looked at him blankly. To be honest, I was the one who shouted for a divorce, but I didn't know how to divorce this marriage. Don't give him the car, Zhou Ruize suddenly said. I came back to my senses, and a bitter smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. After all, father and son are connected by heart. He is on his father's side after all. My mother's technology, don't ask for a car. It's a waste if you don't drive it, and it's a crime if you drive it, so you'd better discount it directly. Your car will cost at least 700,000 or 800,000. I think it's reasonable to add 1 million to the house. Zhou Yu looked at Zhou Ruize with a heavy look, and the latter shrugged indifferently. Zhou Yu retracted his gaze. Let's do it. See you at the Civil Affairs Bureau at 9 o'clock tomorrow. The door was closed and my heart twitched. Zhou Yu might never come back after leaving. He and I started dating in college. The love of youth was sincere and pure. I thought we could support each other until old age. I don't know why I have come to this point. Mom, Zhou Ruize's voice called me back from my sadness. I'm hungry, have you cooked? I got up quickly, wiped my tears and went to buy vegetables. There was a hint of grievance in his voice. Mom, you are about to have 1 million, can't you treat me to a meal? I took Zhou Ruize to the barbecue restaurant downstairs, and he wrapped a piece of pork belly in lettuce and handed it to me. Mom, this is a buffet, you have to eat more to get your money back. I took it and stuffed it into my mouth, but it tasted like chewing wax. I couldn't swallow the food, thinking of the words on the internet about parents' divorce and psychological trauma to children. I spoke carefully, son, although your father and I are going to divorce, he is your father after all. I can hate him, but I don't hate him. He turned the chicken wings over. Don't hate him anymore, it's tiring to hate someone. He sat opposite me, and I could hardly see his face in the smoke. I was sitting on the bed in a daze in the morning, and Zhou Ruize came to knock on my door. Mom, it's time, let's go. I woke up suddenly. Why do I feel that he is more eager than his father to divorce? I opened the door and looked at him suspiciously. Why haven't you gone to school yet? He looked at me with a complicated face. Mom, today is July 1st, and summer vacation is coming. I was in a daze for more than a month and I even forgot that he was on vacation. I straightened his collar for him with guilt. I can't afford it, son. He tilted his head and smiled. If you really feel guilty, please take me on a trip. Let's go to the beach to dive and eat seafood. He made a gesture with his hands. Okay. I couldn't help laughing. The haze in the bottom of my heart seemed to be dispelled a little, and Lin Yu came with Zhou Yu. They haven't divorced yet, but you can't wait to get married. Zhou Ruize took the initiative to greet him. Oh, it's so hot in Lini, and you still come with me. Be careful not to melt my brother. Lin Yu glared at him dissatisfiedly, twisting her body to ask Zhou Yu for support. Zhou Ruize hurriedly explained. Dad, I don't mean anything else. It's 40 degrees. I really love my brother. Zhou Yu said to Lin Yu with a gloomy face, you stay in the car, don't follow me in. After submitting the divorce registration application, there is a 1-month cooling-off period. Zhou Yu drove over and stopped us. I'll take you back. I was about to refuse when I saw Zhou Ruize step forward and open the car door. Mom, come on up, I'm dying of heat, so I had to follow him into the car. We sat in the back seat. Lin Yu sat in the familiar seat in front. He pulled Zhou Yu's arm and said coquettishly, Honey, where are we going to celebrate later? Zhou Ruize leaned over to Lin Yi. Let's go to Zhejiang, my dad loves his food the most. In the past, whenever there was something good, he would take me and my mom there. And from the rearview mirror, I saw Lin Yu's face was longer than a donkey's. Although it's not very kind, I was still secretly happy. Zhou Ruize stepped back and continued to work hard. Mom, where do you think we should go for a trip? Why don't we go to the beach and go to Lijiang? It is said that Lijiang is the capital of romance. Maybe it can find me another father. Zhou Yu's face was not very good. He planned to travel. He glanced at me in the rearview mirror. I didn't want to talk to him, so I turned my head to look at the scenery outside the window. It's also good to relax, he said to himself, but Lijiang is not interesting. Why don't we go to Sanya? I have a friend who opened a hotel in Haitang Bay. Zhou Ruize stretched his head over again. Okay, can we recognize each other with such a similarity between us? Your friend will recognize us at a glance. Zhou Yu smiled and freed his hand to touch Zhou Ruize's head. You are my son, of course there is no problem. They are a loving father and a filial son, and they didn't notice that Lin Yu's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Zhou Ruize and I went to Sanya after all. According to his words, it's a good deal if you don't take it. He was in high spirits and made 3 pages of travel guides. I didn't want to be a spoilsport mother, so I had to cheer up and accompany him. A boy of 13 or 14 is at the age of full of energy. During the day, I accompanied her skydiving, surfing and diving, and at night I had to accompany her to the night market to catch small sand crabs. After a whole day my bones were almost falling apart. I fell asleep as soon as I stuck to the bed. I didn't even care about the sadness after the divorce. After returning from Sanya, I originally wanted to have a good rest, but he made comments on my cooking skills again saying, Mom, you cook these dishes. They are not bad. Mainly due to the lack of variety, I glanced at him. You've been eating the food I cook for so many years, but now you're disgusted with it. He scratched his head and laughed. It's not that he's disgusted, it's just that I'm a little sick of it. If you could make more changes, I'll definitely eat myself up to 1.88 meters tall. Go away. I patted his face and laughed. After so many days I figured it out. This kid keeps changing his tactics to torment me just to keep me busy and have no time to be sad, although my vision in choosing a husband is not very good. But the child I gave birth to is a treasure. What's there to be sad about? I plan to find a job. Although Zhou Yu promised to give me 1 million and promised that the monthly child support would be paid on time, but 1 million is actually not much to really use. Zhou Ruize's annual tutoring fees alone are close to 200,000, not to mention daily expenses. If he lives on his savings, it won't be long before the mountain is eaten up. After more than 10 years of being a housewife, I have almost no work skills. I thought, why not find an easy job to do first, and then change after accumulating some experience? I mentioned my idea to Zhou Ruize. After all, if I go out to work, I may not have so much time to take care of him. He thought about it and said, you want to go out to work? Of course I support it, but finding a job is just like finding a partner. You have to plan before you act. After listening to his little adult words, I burst out laughing and couldn't help teasing him. Have you ever found a partner? How come it's the same? He argued, just tell me. If you just find a random job at first and then meet a more suitable one later, will you break up or continue to work? I thought about it and it makes sense. If you just find a random job and then meet a better one later, it will be troublesome to ask for leave in interviews. Zhou Ruize persuaded me that there is no need to rush to find a job, but there is another urgent matter. I asked him what it was. Stop my cram school. No, I flatly refused. He wailed. I had to make up 4 subjects a day. I am your son, not a donkey in the production team. After friendly consultation, we decided to cancel the Chinese and English tutoring and temporarily retain the mathematics and physics. If there is progress in the future, we will consider it as appropriate. Long live Mom. Zhou Ruize ran around me happily after 2 laps. She also took the initiative to do a set of English questions. Our life slowly got back on track. That day, I was placing an order on the link sent by my bestie Ningning. Zhou Ruize came over and looked at it for a long time. Suddenly he asked me, Aunt Ningning, can you make money by doing this? Is it okay? I replied casually while paying. She pulled my hand and looked at my mother with her big bright eyes. I think you are quite suitable for this. My heart was moved. Ningning has always had a unique vision. She was very successful in e-commerce in the past few years. This time, she switched to a newly listed community group buying platform. Although there are not many users at present, the shopping method is convenient and the communication channels are flexible. The development prospects should be very good. The most important thing is that there is a one-click selling function, so there is no need to considering the source of goods. It is most suitable for a novice like me to operate. Okay, I will go to your Aunt Ningning to learn from her. If I say what I have gained from these more than 10 years of housewife life, the most important thing is the purchasing skills. I am a bit picky. When buying things, I not only pay attention to the price but also have high requirements for quality. I often compare prices and make enough choices. So my friends always like to ask me for recommendations when they want to buy something. As Zhou Ruize said, such a platform is indeed very suitable for me. With the help of Ningning, my store opened quickly. I have strict control over the quality of the goods I help sell. I must try them out myself before I sell them. Therefore, although I don't make much money, I quickly accumulated a group of die-hard fans. In the blink of an eye, it's almost been a month, and Zhou Yu suddenly he came to my house and said he wanted to withdraw his divorce registration application. I was stunned for a long time. Although I was the one who proposed the divorce, he probably had this idea in mind for a long time. Otherwise, why would he find fault with me everywhere and dislike me in various ways? What's more, Lin Yu's belly was getting bigger day by day, and I thought he must be in a hurry. He suddenly did this, which caught me off guard. Why? I asked. Zhou Yu's eyes were a little evasive, and after a long while he said slowly, I can't bear to leave our family. I was a little dazed. In the first few years when Zhou Yu started his business, he often went on business trips. Before leaving every time, he would hug me and kiss our son. My little wife, I can't bear to leave you. As soon as I finish things over there, I will go home immediately. When did he become unwilling to go home? Seeing that my expression relaxed, Sue came over and held my hand saying, Honey, Let's stop making trouble. Okay? Can you really bear to let our son be without a father? I pulled my fingers away from his palm and looked at him with a hint of irony in my eyes. Zhou Yu, it's you who did something wrong, and it's also you who doesn't want to pay the price. How can there be such a thing in this world? There must be something wrong when things are abnormal. I asked a friend to help me check Zhou Yu's current situation. I didn't know until I checked. I was shocked when I checked. Zhou Yu runs a trading company. To put it bluntly, it takes advantage of the channel advantage to resell and make a profit. Half a month ago, a batch of goods that Li Yu was responsible for purchasing was found to be counterfeit. The upstream supplier ran away directly, and the downstream customers refused to accept the goods and demanded compensation for all losses. It is said that Zhou Yu had to take out all his savings to fill this hole. Now, let alone 1 million, it is estimated that he would have difficulty in taking out even 10,000 yuan. This time he came to me to get back together. It seems that he not only wants to default on the 1 million, but may even have his eyes on this house. We live in a school district house. According to the current market price, it is worth at least 5 or 6 million. I don't know what Zhou Ruize said to him when we agreed to divorce. Maybe he still had a trace of insignificant apology to us mother and son, or maybe his business was booming at the time and he didn't take the money seriously. The divorce agreement was signed readily, but now he is down and out, and these assets have become a life-saving straw. I want to hold them in my own hands, but my lover, after causing trouble, he wanted to take advantage of his ex-wife. How could it be so easy? After the cooling-off period, I should have applied for a divorce certificate, but I couldn't contact Zhou Yu. I thought he was deliberately dragging it out to prevent the subsequent procedures from going on. I was getting so annoyed when I suddenly received a courier. There was a USB flash drive in it, which contained evidence of Zhou Yu's cheating, including a video of him and Lin Yu hugging each other on the way to the hotel, screenshots of their explicit chats, and even transfer records such as 5201314. I took a photo and sent it to Zhou Yu. If the divorce agreement failed, I could still go through the litigation procedure. After a while, Zhou Yu called me. Wife, are you really so cruel? We have been in love for more than 10 years. Can it be over just like that? Is it hard to say that today? It had been raining heavily. When the phone call came, I was standing at the intersection downstairs. The wind was whistling towards me from all directions. I spoke softly. Zhou Yu, you were the one who ruined our relationship first. There was no sound from the other end. Zhou Yu finally came to get the divorce certificate. He came alone that day without Lin Yu. He looked extremely haggard. I heard that his trading company had no working capital on its books and was almost at a standstill. However, it had to pay the employees' wages due to the early payments from suppliers. I guess he must have been overwhelmed during this period. When we parted, he asked me to have a meal with him. I was about to refuse when I heard him say anxiously that even if we were separated, we could still be friends. Can't we just have a meal together? I know him too well. He lowered his posture like this not because of the old love but because he had something to say. I nodded. We randomly found a restaurant next to the Civil Affairs Bureau. After sitting down, he kept turning his glass, as if he wanted to say something but hesitated. I didn't want to waste time, so I spoke first. Zhou Yu, just say whatever you want to say. He hesitated for a moment, then asked cautiously, can I delay the payment of the 1 million I promised you before? Don't worry, I will never break my promise to you, but I interrupted him. In the late Qing dynasty, he reached out to hold my hand, but I shrank it back without making a sound. I agreed to postpone the payment for 1 year, but I will charge 10% according to the market price. Interest, and I want to get the goods from your company as a special distributor. Don't worry, I will pay the payment on time. Ningning has always said that it is difficult to find high-quality goods. Either the price is too high or the quality is poor. When he said this, Zhou Ruize happened to hear it. The clever ghost blinked his eyes and said to us, Aunt Ningning, I know where to meet your needs. It's really a blessing in disguise. I was still thinking about how to ask Zhou Yu for this, but he came to me on his own. After all, to become a special distributor of their company, you have to have goods worth millions. Zhou Yu probably didn't expect that I would negotiate with him. After a while, he smiled bitterly and said, You are not the same as before. You used to be Zhou Yu. I interrupted him again. I knew what he wanted to say. In the past, I only had him and the children in my heart. I gave up a good job and just wanted to devote myself to the family until old age. Young people have a love brain, and middle-aged abandoned women like me only look at the pros and cons. I raised my glass and clinked it with his. Boss Zhou hopes that we will have a pleasant cooperation. With the supply guarantee, I quickly switched from helping to sell to the independent group mode. On the one hand, the profit is higher, and on the other hand, I can develop my own group leader to expand sales channels and coverage. Because the platform has just been launched, I have received a lot of assistance and reward mechanisms. I registered a company and hired professional operation planners and customer service staff. Although my life is busy, it is extremely fulfilling. However, Zhou Yu has not been doing well recently. A few days ago, the supplier who sold fake goods to him was caught. The man confessed that Lin Yu knew that there was something wrong with this batch of goods from the beginning, and took a 20% kickback from him, so she concealed the matter. Zhou Yu was furious when he found out, and slapped Lin Yu in front of everyone. Unexpectedly, Lin Yu was unstable when she stood, and her stomach hit the corner of the table, resulting in placental abruption. Not only did Lin Yu suffer a great crime, but the child also died in the womb. I heard that during this period, the Lin family blocked Zhou Yu in the company every day to ask for an explanation, and he was so scared that he didn't dare to go to the office. When you told me about this, your tone was full of gloating. I was right, wasn't I? The bitch will be punished one day. I'm looking at this month's financial statements. I said lightly, just don't affect our business. I thought that Zhou Yu and I had more in common than business, and that it would be nice to live in peace. But he didn't think so. The person who contacted me before was an account manager of their company, but during this period, the contact person became Zhou Yu himself. Under the banner of maintaining customer relationships, he frequently showed his goodwill to me, and even sent a bouquet of flowers to my home on Valentine's Day. It was winter vacation that day, and the flowers were received by Zhou Ruize. He looked at my mother strangely and said, "Are you in love?" I passed by the living room and casually pulled out the card inserted in the flowers. The flowers are endless, the moon is infinite, and our hearts are the same. This is Zhou when you gave me flowers for the first time, she wrote on the card, but unfortunately the flowers in the courtyard have withered. After the clouds dispersed, things have changed. I threw the flowers and the card into the trash can. Zhou Ruize stood quietly for a while and suddenly said, "Mom, does my dad want to reconcile with you?" I thought about it and decided that it was time to have a good talk with him. I took his hand and sat on the sofa. "Son, you may think your mother is selfish, but your father and I really have no way to go back to the past." He held my hand and grinned at me. "I'm glad you think so. You must always remember, first of all, it's you and then my mother. Nothing is more important than your own happiness." I covered my mouth and tried hard to hold back my tears. With the support of my son, I was going to find a chance to make things clear with Zhou Yu. I asked him to meet at a restaurant near my home. Before leaving, Zhou Ruize insisted on going with me. I couldn't get rid of him, so I had to take him with me. This was the first time I took the initiative to make an appointment after my divorce. Zhou Yu seemed to have dressed up deliberately, wearing the shirt and leather shoes I bought for her, and holding a bouquet of roses in her hand. When she saw us come in, she excitedly greeted us and said, "The night before last, Zhou Ruize, you are here." Zhou Ruize looked at me. He glanced at her and said jokingly, "Dad, you haven't been in a good state recently. When I go out with my mom, people say she is my sister. If I go out with you, I'm afraid others will think you are my grandfather." Zhou Yu smiled awkwardly and said, "Your mother is indeed getting younger and younger." Zhou Ruize nodded and said in a mature manner, "So, people still have to be self-disciplined. If they can't control themselves, it will be too late to regret." "Dad, don't you think this is the truth?" Zhou Yu couldn't even laugh. Zhou Ruize ordered a few dishes that he and I liked, sat next to me and prepared to play with his mobile phone. I was cold. I gave him a cold look, and he quickly put his phone back and smiled. "I don't play games, I just look at the message sent by the teacher in the group. You are only allowed to play one game. Mom, I love you the most." Seeing the interaction between me and my son, Zhou Yu's eyes were a little red. She wiped away her tears and tried her best to pick up food for us. Our family hasn't sat together to eat like this for a long time. I put down my chopsticks and sighed. Zhou Yu and I suddenly rushed out, picked up the soup on the table and poured it at me. My son quickly blocked in front of me, and the boiling hot soup fell on his chest and arms. The exposed skin quickly turned red. Lin Yu hysterically scolded Su Wanqing. "Can you have some shame? Do you like to seduce other people's men? Does it hurt? Are you burned?" I didn't care about Lin Yu, nor did I care about the strange looks from others. I checked Zhou Ruize's body in a panic. "Mom, I'm fine." Zhou Ruize quickly comforted me. Luckily, the soup had been left for a while. Except for some redness and swelling, there was nothing serious. I was relieved. Zhou Yu had already pulled Lin Yu away. "Lin Yu, what's wrong with you? It's over between you and me. The compensation money has been given to your parents, what else do you want?" Lin Yu's face became more and more ferocious. "What's the use of having no money? My child is gone. How can your family still be happy?" I was about to turn around to refute him, but I saw a fluorescent light flash in his hand. I subconsciously blocked Zhou Ruize. Pain came over me. I vaguely saw Zhou Ruize raised his foot and kicked Lin Yu out. My consciousness gradually blurred. Before I fainted, an inexplicable thought flashed through my mind. It's worthy of learning Taekwondo for so many years. This money is worth spending. It was worth the makeup lesson. I don't know how long I slept. In a daze, I heard Zhou Ruize nagging in my ear, saying that without your son, I wouldn't be able to show off my skills. "Well, I have a lot of homework to do and I have to come to the hospital to take care of you. Just tell me how to compensate me when I wake up. At least let me play with my phone for 3 days." Maybe it was the word "play with phone" that touched my sensitive nerves. I sat up, put my hands on my hips and shouted to Zhou Ruize, "Just try it if you dare. You're so brave." He stood in front of me with a smile like a cunning little fox. The nurse came in with a tray. "Wake up. Bed 24. Be careful not to lose weight too much in the future. Your blood sugar is so low." "A what? Lose weight? Low blood sugar?" I avoided Zhou Ruize's gaze guiltily. He looked at me with a half smile. "If your blood sugar was not too low, he could have knocked you out with a blunt fork." I was holding on to the last bit of my dignity. I was so angry. You know shit. As the saying goes, a gentleman does not stand under a dangerous wall. After this incident, I dare not have anything to do with Zhou Yu again. It happened that the 1-year period was about to expire. I asked a lawyer to send him a collection letter. I was not afraid that he would not pay back the money. The unpaid payment for goods here was more than 1.1 million. The money arrived soon. I asked my colleagues in the company to draft a written notice of non-renewal and check the accounts and goods. Because of the good reputation in service home, I also caught the opportunity when the platform just went online. My business is getting better and better. Many suppliers and even manufacturers contacted me directly and wanted to supply goods. Even if there was no supply from Zhou Yu, it had no impact on me. On the contrary, if he lost such a big customer like me, his situation might be even more difficult. He called me countless times and I was annoyed, so I directly put him on the blacklist and came to me, but I had taken advantage of the last few days of the holiday to travel to Lijiang with my son. When I was about to board the plane, I received a call from Lin Yu. Before she started to scold, I spoke first. Lin Yu, you and I have never been in a competitive relationship. Think about it carefully, who has harmed you to the point where you are today? There was silence for a long time on the other end of the phone, and then the sound of hanging up was heard. Their story may be very long, but what does this have to do with me? I just hope they will grow old together and be locked together forever. At the beginning of the new semester, I went to a parent-teacher meeting for Zhou Ruize. The teacher announced the final ranking of the previous semester. His grades were neither good nor bad. There were 1,000 students in the grade, and he had always been hovering between 300 or 400, but this time I was surprised. He actually broke into the top 200 in the grade, especially in the subject of Chinese, which had stopped remedial classes. He actually got third in the class. The head teacher told me that the child had good qualifications, and if he could work harder, he would have no problem going to the main high school. I excitedly shook the teacher's hand and thanked him repeatedly. I was still a little lightheaded when I came out of the school. Zhou Ruize looked at my mother with contempt and asked, "Can you be more promising? If I break into the top 100 next time, will you?" He was about to faint with joy, and I chuckled. "If I fainted, it's not worth your scolding. I don't have much hope in this life. I just hope you have a good future and live a happy life." He stood in front of me and looked at me disapprovingly. "Mom, you still have a long life to live. I want to be your pride, but I don't want to be your only pride." I looked up at him. He had a clear face and an upright figure. The little boy had grown up. I couldn't help but feel relieved. "Mom and son, I am about to start my own wonderful life." Chapter Zhou Ruize. In my previous life, my parents divorced. In order to reduce my mother's burden, I chose to live with my father. He had a new wife and a new son. I was like a superfluous person, living in someone else's shell, surviving by absorbing such a tiny amount of nutrients. I was not abused, but looking at them, the family lived a happy life and I was just a bystander. Dad said, "If you don't listen, go back to your mom and see if she can support you." Aunt Lin Yu said, "I provide you with food and drink, and it's okay to order you to do something." Even my brother, who just learned to speak, would say to me in a baby voice, "You are not my brother, you are an outsider." I always secretly go back to see my mother. She worked in a convenience store. Her back, which was originally straight, became hunched, and her clear eyes became turbid. Once I saw her calling my name to the stray cats downstairs. "Ruize, you haven't been here for a long time. Mom misses you so much." Later, in order to get the kite hanging on the tree for my brother, I fell from the tree, hit the back of my head and died. At my funeral, everyone was comforting Dad, Lao Zhou, and said, "Please accept my condolences. The big one is gone, and the little one is there. Only the mother is sitting in the corner without saying a word. I want to hug her, but I can only pass through her body. Her figure is getting thinner and thinner, so the wind on the rooftop can easily blow her down." She gently said, "Son, don't be afraid. Mom is here to accompany you." When I opened my eyes, I went back to the year they divorced. Mom was still immersed in false happiness. Even though Dad had been very cold to her, even though his excuses were full of loopholes, he still said to me stupidly, "Son, don't bother your dad. It's so hard for him to make money alone." I rolled my eyes secretly. My mom is so love-brained. If I post a message on a certain website, she will be scolded to the level of 99+. I was reborn and I couldn't help him win back Dad's heart, but I could help him get his money back. I started collecting evidence of Dad's cheating. To be honest, this matter is not difficult at all. Dad is fearless and has not deleted any of the disgusting chat records in his mobile phone. I found an excuse to search the internet for information, got his mobile phone, and easily obtained several gigabytes. "The car and house are left to you, and I will give you another 500,000. If you agree, we will go to handle the formalities tomorrow." Dad is confident and thinks that I will definitely choose him. After all, Mom is just a housewife without financial security. Family affection is like a pile of loose sand. It will be scattered without the wind. But I just glanced at him and said firmly that my mom and I should give him more property. Otherwise, I am afraid he can't support him. Dad wanted to threaten me in the study. "Your mom said that as long as you follow him, she would rather leave the house with nothing." I sighed and clicked to download it from his chat software. This is a short video of him and Lin Yu entertaining themselves. "Dad, you are going to have your own child, so don't compete with my mom. My mom only has me. To be honest, I do have some hatred towards her, but love is more powerful. It is enough to support me not to be trapped in hatred, to live a miserable life, and to welcome a new life. Mom is actually a very capable woman. She is just blinded by family and love." In her previous life, Aunt Ningning invited him to start a business several times, but he was always immersed in the pain of divorce and loss of his child, so he did not agree. This time I just mentioned it lightly and he readily agreed, and he did it more successfully than I thought. He became more and more clear-headed and confident. Compared with before, I like my mother now more. She is not only a wife and mother, but also an independent woman. It's really good for her. The end.